We're gonna talk about Wu Wei. Effortless action, doing without doing, acting without acting, speaking without speaking, hearing without hearing, knowing without knowing. The art of effortless action, Wu Wei. To be in total harmony with the way, to be in total harmony with the Tao. I have been humming for a little over an hour. I set a timer and the timer went off. I went a little overboard. So let's say an hour. I've been humming for an hour. And in this hour, I have captured a considerable amount of energy from the cosmos, from the elements, from all the 5 elements, from the dark matter, that's the light body, and from the 4 elements around me, that's the sun, which I have been in the presence of for an hour, and it's absolutely beautiful. From the earth, which I am in direct contact with, and from water, and by the way, I am, I think, somewhere in the 16th or 17th hour mark in dry fasting, but I am learning from dry fasting that the body creates sufficient water. So actually, I am capturing, and this actually ties with Wu Wei, doing without doing. So we'll talk about that, we'll expand on that. And I am, so the element of fire, that's the sun, the element of earth, the element of water, and the element of air, which I am in the presence of some, really fresh and clean mountain air. So, and then dark matter, energy, the space, the element of space, which is, you just close your eyes and you hum, or you do some form of meditation, and off you go, plugged into the source. So now, how have I managed to capture the energy? Because I feel the energy right now, it's very high. It's very high, okay? The force at this moment is strong with this one. How have I managed to capture the energy within a span of an hour? Or let me rephrase this. How did the energy manage to capture me? Because that's really what happened. I really didn't do anything to capture the energy. All I did was get out of the way of the way. The Tao means the path, the way. And all I did through the practice of humming, in my case, is I got out of the way. And this is what happens when I sit down and I hum. And the duration, again, is about an hour. Roughly the first 20 minutes or so, I'm humming. Many thoughts are popping in my head. Many thoughts. Okay, about how long I'm going to do the dry fast for today. Or am I ready now for a 3-day dry fast? Just thoughts. Thoughts like, how do I capture the energy of the sun? That's a big one. We'll discuss that. I'll be, how do I capture the energy of the sun? And I'll sort of look at the sun and I'll try to capture the energy of the sun. All kinds of thoughts pop up in my head. Just pedestrian thoughts, trivial thoughts, Sometimes thoughts of, I wonder when I'm going to become a breatharian, a full-out breatharian. You know, so a little bit bigger thoughts, or things like, I wonder how long I'm going to live if I go on and I become a breatharian. And etc, etc. So some of these thoughts, you know, they're like existential. You know, I'll have some thoughts like about existential thoughts, and you know, but they're thoughts. They're just coming in and out, in and out, in and out. And then I'll, you know, be like, you know, I'm not thirsty. How come I'm not thirsty? And then I'm like, I wonder how, you know, let me try and get water from the atmosphere. Things like that, thoughts, just my mind. And then after about 20 minutes, maybe halfway through, all that calms down. And I get in this blissful state. And there are not many thoughts going on in my mind. They come in, and as fast as they come, as fast as they go. And here I am. The first 20 minutes or so, I'm bothered by bugs on me, right? Wasps, ants. So I'm feeling them. Ugh, that ant. Get out of here. Ugh, you know? After about 20, 30 minutes, just humming. All I have to do is just hum. All that sort of calms down. And I get out of my own way. I don't need to figure out how I'm going to get this energy from the sun. I don't need to figure out how my body is extracting energy, is extracting water from the atmosphere, and how it's releasing its own deep waters. I don't have to think about how I'm going to align myself with the 4 elements. Let me take this particular breath. Let me do this particular way of breathing because that's going to get more energy into the body. Or, gee, let me put my feet on the earth. Let me ground myself. I don't have to think about any of that anymore. The first 20 minutes, I'm all up in my head, essentially getting in the way of the energy. Okay, you see the paradox? But after about 20, 30 minutes of just humming. And so the idea is one-pointedness. Humming, you could chant. You could pick a chant and chant. You could focus on your breath. Rising, falling. Rising, falling. Like Vipassana style, you can focus on the sensations coming in and out of your nose. You know, anything one-pointed. You chant one thing. Pick a chant and chant it. Focus on a sensation. Focus on your third eye. Focus on a particular chakra. It's a focus. You have to focus on one thing at a time. And in my experience, it takes roughly 20 to 30 minutes to actually begin to get out of the way, calm down the mind, calm down the thoughts, and pretty soon, let's talk about my favorite verse from the Tao Te Ching, which I have said over and over. I'm gonna drill it in your head. It's my favorite verse from the Tao Te Ching. To become learned, gain daily. To obtain Tao, reduce daily. So if you want to learn, right, I'm going to learn how to extract the sun. This is what happens scientifically. The body grabs onto the energy of the sun, converts it into vitamin D, and blah, 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 blah. You want to become learned, gain daily. To obtain Tao, however, reduce daily. Don't think about it. Who cares how your body extracts energy from the sun and how it happens? The more you think about it, the less of the sun's energy actually, paradoxically, the body is extracting, because there's thoughts, there are obstructions. To obtain Tao, reduce daily. Reduce and reduce until all action comes to non-action. No action, ladies and gentlemen. Then, and only then, when nothing is done, nothing is left undone. That's Wu Wei. When nothing is done, so when I am halfway through the humming, and I am doing nothing at this point, I'm not trying to grab the sun's energy. I'm not trying to ground and capture the ions and the electrons from the earth and release the electrons from my body, the negative or positive ions. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm not trying to even understand it. I'm not trying to do any particular breathing technique to get more prana into the body. I'm not even trying to capture this dark energy or connect to the source. I am connected to the source. I am doing precisely nothing. At that point, thoughts come, and as fast as they come, they go, and I'm in this bliss. Flies are coming on my knee and all over my body. No, I'm not paying any attention. There's no attention being paid to it whatsoever. Reminds me of when I take psychedelics. It's the same thing. Same story. Except for now, I figured out how to get there just via meditation. So there's flies and ants and all kinds of things. I'm in bliss. Lights are starting to pop up in my third eye. I know, like, they become to pop up so much that, you know, the thoughts come and go because there's just so lights and stuff that I'm so distracted even with the lights and just feeling this. And I have to take deep breaths also as I'm humming. The humming gets louder because the energy, there's more energy throughout the body. And then throughout the humming, I did about 5 rounds of Wim Hof breathing. You know why? Because it just happened. Because as I was humming, I was like, and I begin to breathe, and there's a lot of prana, and I have to ground it, so I do the Wim Hof breathing. I did about 5 rounds in the span of an hour because the energy is just rising. And most of these rounds happen in the next 40 minutes, approximately, not in the first 20, because the thoughts begin to calm down. I begin to just be focused on the hum, the vibration of the hum, the sound of the hum, the act of the hum. One-pointedness. Nothing is being done. And when nothing is done, nothing is left undone. So my body is extracting the energy from the sun. It's doing its conversion and blah, 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 blah. All this shit that we try to figure out with our left brain, with our dissecting, dualistic, rational brain, rational mind. We try to do that with it. That's gone. So the body's doing its thing. It's grabbed because there's no obstructions now. Thoughts come and go. There's not much of them anyway. They're still there, but, you know, barely. It's grabbing all the energy it can from the sun. There are no thoughts, obstructions in the form of thoughts. All the balancing of the earthing is happening. The prana is being filled up. In fact, if it wasn't being filled, I wouldn't start to hum so loud, and I wouldn't start to feel this bliss where I'm still, and there's like, again, I'm not bothered by ants or anything. You know? It's doing its thing. It's grabbing the prana. It's filling up the chi. It's grabbing all the chi from the atmosphere. More breath, more energy. All that stuff is happening. Nothing is being done. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. That's precisely the art of Wu Wei, of doing without doing. See, I'm grabbing all this energy from the cosmos, but I'm not doing anything. That's why I say I didn't grab the energy. The energy grabbed me. And in fact, that's how it works. That's how it works. The energy comes in when you surrender. It's a feminine act. We have to be females in relationship to creation, to the cosmos. Because while we're in creation, we're female. When we are out of creation, we're male. And it's that union of the male and the female that produces this experience of awe, this experience of being. But as far as the energy is concerned, we can look at the energy as masculine, but it can only go in if you, within creation, playing the character, surrender and become a feminine, become a female. And it's an act of surrendering. It's an act of doing nothing, really. I tried those first 20 minutes or so. Let me grab the sun's energy. And I just felt tired, and I felt this tension here. And I was like, I'm trying to do things. It's not happening, man. It's not happening. Then I stay with the humming. All you have to do is stay with it. Just stay with it. It'll purify you. Right? I'm so used to it by now. I'm like, here we go. All right, the drill. It's going to happen. All right. And all these thoughts pop up. And I'm just used to it now. I know it's going to take up roughly 20 minutes or so. Again, I'm approximating here with the times, right? But I just know the drill now. I know the drill. I'm like, all right, here we go. Oh, it's going to happen. All right, just keep humming, man. Just keep humming. I just keep telling myself, just keep humming. All right, keep humming. And it purifies you, right? I don't want to push the humming agenda on you, although it's a very good agenda. I think Alan Watts says somebody ought to start a humming religion. Perhaps that's me. But anything, you focus on your breath, it's just a focus. It's a matter of focusing on something. You pick a chakra and you focus on it, a focal point, and you focus on it. That's what it is. It's a matter of focusing. And then once I get into the Wu Wei, into the doing nothing, all this energy begins to enter. And I feel it running, and I have to run my hands through it like this because there's so much of it. And I start to do the Wim Hof breathing because it just happens spontaneously, actually. The Bastrika, it's called, right? It just starts to happen automatically because that's the Shakti rising. by the way. And so I don't even try to do this swim half breathing, this Bastrika, this holopter. It just starts to happen on its own because there's so much energy. I have to ground it, so I have to go. And pretty soon I get it all in, I do the retention, and I'm back into the humming. Because there's so much in the energy, I have to ground it. I have to let it flow through the system. And it all happens on its own. Wu Wei, do nothing. It's about doing nothing. If you think there is a speaker right now, if you think I'm speaking right now, if you think there is a speaker, if you even think I'm thinking about something, or I'm thinking, how can I present this information to these people? How can I help them? Even the thought of helping you is not in my mind at this point. What I mean, words are happening. You know what happened is after I finished the humming, you know, the hands grabbed the selfie stick, they grabbed the phone grabbed the hands, and the phone put itself on the selfie stick, the record button hit itself, and the words spoke themselves. Wu Wei, I have to do nothing. All I have to do, the I, is get out of the way of the Tao. And then everything gets done. The energy comes in. I mean, look, I'm like 17 hours into a drive fast. I sweat like crazy because I'm in the sun. Okay, now I could see the sweat is sort of dried up. I'm not thirsty. I'm not thirsty. There's no dry mouth. I'm not thirsty. I feel perfectly hydrated. How come? I got out of the way, so the body, because there are no more obstructions in the form of thoughts, the body began to do its thing, whatever its thing is, whether it's extracting water from the atmosphere, whether it's digging into its deep waters and releasing that water and hydrating the body, whatever. I don't care about the scientific, rational part of things. That's just creating more mind stuff, more obstructions in here that are getting in the way of this cosmic energy, that are getting me more in my head, more thinking, more over-analyzing things. And therefore, I'll be trying to get energy from the cosmos, but I can't because I'm going about it with this masculine, I'm coming to you. No, it's the Divine Mother comes to you. And it's the act of meditating, whatever meditation you pick, which is one-pointedness. All meditations aim to be one-pointed. So you're one-pointed. You're one-pointed in focus. And I'll tell you what, folks, humming is a magical. You see, the Hindus, they start all their mantras, almost all the sacred mantras, that the ones that are, you know, commonly used. It usually starts with hum. You know, even the Tibetans, the most popular chant in Tibet, Om Mani Padme Hum. And you could take up any mantra you want. You could just take the hum. I like to take the hum. I feel it's universal. It's very magical. It purifies you. You don't have to do anything. When you're sitting there meditating and you begin to hum, just keep telling yourself in your head, keep humming, dude. Keep humming. Just keep humming. Just, here are thoughts. Here, oh boy. Just keep humming. Keep humming. Keep humming. Keep humming. Go deep. Go for an hour. Start with half an hour. Go for an hour if you really... Because the benefits from my experience start to happen after that initial brain fart phase. Okay, where the humming starts to go in and it starts to purify you and the thoughts calm down on their own. You're not even trying to calm down your thoughts. That's the Wu Wei too. You try and calm down your thoughts. You get more thoughts. So I'm there. I'm just like, oh, here we go. I just know what the drill. I know it's going to be thoughts. All right. Just keep humming. Keep humming. Keep humming. And then pretty soon the thoughts calm themselves down. I don't have to calm them down. I don't have to do anything at all. That's the cosmic joke. The cosmic joke is you don't have to do anything whatsoever. The only thing you have to do, I presume, is become one-pointed. So meditate, in other words. Because that's really the only thing you have to do. That's your only job, is to just become one-pointed. Practice this in the day, practice it in the evening. 1 hour in the day, 1 hour in the evening. To stay plugged into this energy. And then you begin to understand what this is all about. And you begin to understand what the breatharian message and the breatharian knowledge is all about too. You begin to understand that as long as you're plugged to cosmic energy, you're fulfilled. And you don't have to even do... I don't have to do anything now. I don't have to desire anymore. The universe knows my desires. It will all happen on its own, spontaneously. You want to hear something funny? Yesterday, I do a meditation. I was bored. and I do a meditation, and then I leave, and I'm like, man, I'm bored. After the meditation, it's like, I'm bored. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna surrender to the boredom here. I'm bored. And I was like 21 hours into the dry fast, so I needed to wait another 2 hours before I could consume something. And I was like, I'm not gonna resort to food or water here, because mostly when I consume out of boredom. I'm just gonna be I'm bored. And I was riding on my bike, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do with this boredom, but I'm gonna surrender to it. I'm bored. And then a gentleman stops me. Okay, a gentleman stops me, a Thai gentleman, older gentleman. Says, you're from Italy. I said, no, I get that a lot. Spain. No, I get that a lot. Then I explained to him where I'm from, this and that. He says, you're very, very handsome, blah, 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 right? Very nice, kind gentleman, old, with his daughter. And they do that here, by the way. The old, if they see you and they think you're handsome and stuff, they tell you this. Very, very, very nice. Had to bring that out, right? So, that was like a highlight of the day. One of the highlights of the day. So, here I am, literally thinking on my bike, saying, I'm bored, man. I don't know what to do. I'm bored. Then we talk. Turns out he's a teacher. He teaches English to Thai people, and he says, how about I teach you Thai? I say, okay, I'm starting today. I got a lesson today. I can't be late, actually. It's noonish, so I gotta leave soon, maybe after this video. And yeah, so reasonable price, and we're gonna do lessons. Boom. Here I am thinking the thought, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. Boom. Boom. But I'm in flow. I meditated. I'm in flow. That's it. I don't have to do anything. I just have to get out of the way. The universe knows exactly what I want. It knows exactly what I want. Wu Wei. That's the kingdom of heaven. That's when life becomes magical. And if you could reside in the kingdom of heaven, which you can, and if you could reside there permanently, which you can, that's when you become eternity. That's when you become the light. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful not to have to think about anything. It's so wonderful to be in flow, to be in harmony. It's so wonderful not to have to do anything. Frankly, I don't want to know how I don't even do it. It does itself. I don't want to know how the energy gets captured from the sun. Because of the oneness, the body is plugged into the elements. It obviously knows everything. It's part of the Tao. It's got its own Tao. It's part of the universal Tao. It knows what to do. It knows how to do it. I just got to get out of the way. And frankly, I don't want to know how things work. Because I have to think to know how things work. I have to be in my head. And I create obstructions. And the knowing, the intellectual knowing of it is going to get in the way of the experiential, actual execution of whatever it is. The capturing of the sun from the energy. The capturing of the sun from the air. On and on it goes. Revolutionary. Gracias to all the Patreons for your generous and continued support. And for the people who donate on PayPal, I get very generous donations, large amounts on PayPal. You guys are awesome. I love you. Thank you very much. And if you would like to contribute and you find these videos helpful and you get a couple of bucks to throw my way every month, you could go on Patreon and do so. Maybe one day we will host retreats here if we can have enough money in the future to sustain and be able to do this full time and throw retreats, and then it would make it very cheap for you guys. We could come here and just hum and be and dance and sing and do all these cool things and have a good old time. And all you'd have to do is just pay for the ticket, which is cheap. To Thailand's cheap. So contribute if you would like to. The links are in the description. And follow on Instagram too, Saeed Mobayed. Just go look it up. Woo way. Until next time, may the force be with you.